We have Diamond Dave McLaughlin in from the Sarasota, St. Petersburg, Tampa market. I'll let him explain it to you. Dave, how you doing? How was the trip down?
Doing great. It's great to be here. Love being in the studio today.
I like being in the studio every day with you. It's always exciting and fun. Yeah, let's go. So tell the people who are getting to know you for the first time, might not have seen you on the channel here, how'd you get into mortgages?
Been doing mortgages and the real estate industry as a whole since 1994. So I'm in 30 years in the mortgage industry, and I got into it because I wanted to make a difference in people's lives, and finding money for people to live the life that they want to live was empowering. And so I've always been known as the money man, and that's why I got into the business.
I like that. So the money man, but more importantly than that, because we've had Derek on here before. We're mission motivated, not money motivated,
Right.
and money's
Right.
important. It
Right.
is. But you have a unique perspective of the real estate industry. Can you explain that, or how you came from that side over to mortgages?
I did. So graduated college, Temple University in Philadelphia, and an old football coach was like, "Why don't you get into real estate?" So I got into real estate and was able to help many people from 1994 to 2011. So I've seen many cycles, the ups, the downs. But what I noticed is the very first deal that I ever did reminded me of a deal that when I was 9 years old and my mom bought her first house. And my mom, I remember we rented. We were in this little 2-bedroom, 1-bath duplex. I shared a room with my brother. And one day my mom bought a house. And I remember the excitement on her face, and she came in and she's like, "We bought a house." We went and picked out our own room. I had a room. My brother had a room. It was exciting. And then I get into real estate. I'm 24 years old, and there was a program out there, down payment assistance. And I was able to get a person. It was 2 people that worked at Burger King.
Okay.
Young kids. I'm 24 at the time. They had to be 20, 21 years old. And they didn't make much. They worked at Burger King. And I was able to get them into their first house. The house was $47,000.
Wow.
And we did an FHA loan, which means 3.5% down. I got down payment assistance. We used seller credits. I'm still using these same strategies 30 years later.
Wow.
But this was my first deal. And these people, they had a family, they had a baby at the time, and they bought a house with no money down, none. And I remember seeing the girl cried. It's not the first time I've seen that at a closing, but that was impactful to me. So I realized in real estate, I just loved helping people, and so my superpower as a mortgage lender is I'm a great real estate agent. I understand all aspects of the transaction from beginning to the end, from the home inspection to the appraisal to the survey. All these things that we talk about in real estate makes me a great lender today. And then in 2011, I transitioned from real estate into mortgage because I still wanted to be in the real estate game, but now I wanted to find the money to help the people buy the house. Because I felt in real estate, yes, I could find the house in the neighborhood, macro, love it, love the neighborhood. But then inside, I'm like, so many people are told no, they can't get a house because they don't have the right credit. Well, I know how to fix it. They don't have enough money. Well, I know where to go get it. So all these things help me transition to the lending space, and that's why I do what I do today.
That's exciting. I appreciate that, and there is a lot to unpack there, a lot to discuss and talk about. It's a little bit different than the usual start that we'll have, right? Because we'll talk about people that have come from different sides of industries, or may have had a dream or a desire or a hope to do something. But you came from a little bit of a more unique perspective. You had already been in the industry in real estate, and you were able to come over and kind of be the secret weapon, if you will, to real estate professionals. So now real estate professionals that work with you, they get the insight of your real estate experience, but then above and beyond that, they get the insight of your top producing experience. Why do they call you Diamond Dave? Why Diamond? Where'd that come from?
So Diamond Dave was...
that was an alley-oop, right? It was the top producer. Here we go.
Yeah,
Why do they call you Diamond Dave?
So Diamond Dave, it just Diamond went with Dave, and I was always an outgoing, personal guy from the days of being on the football field. It just stuck. So it was almost like a...
You guys let me know out there if you're a sales professional. It doesn't matter the industry you're in. If you're in the Diamond Club, what does that mean? The President's Club, what does that mean? So we got a guy who's got a wealth of knowledge here, super humble guy, very nice. We call him Diamond Dave, but we all know that's because he's an excellent person, top producer, believes in helping people. So with that being said, who are some people that you would like to shout out in the Sarasota, St. Pete area? I know you got a ton of friends and a ton of people that you want to give the shout outs to. So we're not showing any favoritism. These are people that you might have done deals with here just in the past month or two.
So just in the past month, you shout out to Muggsy Quinlan. Muggsy Quinlan is a real estate professional with a lot of passion. She's driven. She does a lot of lifestyle communities. So people that are over 55 years old, they're relocating to Florida. She knows all the communities where the dirt is, and she's in there. She helps them with the building process. So we've had several transactions the past month. Julie Franklin and her team. So Julie is another real estate agent, very dedicated. She runs a real estate team with 12 real estate agents, and she cares about her clients.
Yeah.
Really cares about her clients. Alan Smith is a big one. Remax Properties. Alan, I see you. You're always hustling. You're always working. Thank you for your trust in me. So we just had a deal, Alan Smith and I, where a client was able to get into a house, very similar to my first story, $300. Everybody's talking about it, just expired. There was $100 million. Hometown of Heroes, the state of Florida. If you were a first-time home buyer and you work for a Florida corporation, you qualified for up to 5% in down payment assistance.
Yeah.
Alan and I work closely together. If you're buying real estate, you need a team, right? You need the right real estate agent. You need the right lender, because it's all about goals and dreams. No one talks about it. Anybody can ask you, hey, how many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms? But what's your vision? What are you trying to do? How are you trying to build wealth? And that's what separates the cream of the crop lender and the real estate professional, because we're going to talk to you about goals and dreams. So that lady was renting, never dreamed of owning a home. Well, she always dreamed of it, but she couldn't get into a home. She'd been to several lenders and they were told no. And she got into her house, Michael, for $300. $300.
I think that's incredible.
300.
I'm like the opposite. I have to come to you to like have my dreams and goals like kind of simmer down. I'm looking for like a 9-bedroom, 8-bathroom, waterfront, and I only have about $500,000 to spend. So,
Muggsy, are you listening?
there's a lot of opportunity out there. Listen, these are fantastic stories. These are real stories. This was not. Did we have this conversation ahead of time? Did I tell you what to say or what to talk about? Or so these are real stories. This is not something he's pulling out of the air. So if you want to talk about the opportunity to get into a home, or if it's down payment assistance, and there's other things that Dave is excellent at. If you're self-employed, DSCR loans. This is just the information I get just from learning and being with you as a mortgage advisor. I say, all right, listen. I'm sorry, as a marketing director, I listen to the mortgage advisors and I get all this valuable information. Dave's one of those people. No,
it's great, and thank you for saying that. And everyone knows about a conventional loan. A conventional loan is 3%, all the way up to 20% of whatever you want to do, and that's if you have really good credit, 700 plus. And then there's FHA, Federal Housing Administration. That's 3.5% down. Lenient credit can go down to 600 FICO score. But you mentioned DSCR.
Yeah. Let's talk about. So we're going to segue into that. So what I want to ask you is, let's talk about a hot product or something that's tip of tongue. Things that people have been talking about. We're segueing away from summer. We are in the football months, right? It's officially fall. Let's go. My favorite words: fall, football, and free. Like a free conversation that you can have with mortgage advisors like David. Let's get into the DSCR. What's that about?
Well, DSCR stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio, and what that means is we don't look at traditional income to qualify for a mortgage. Usually if you want to buy an investment property, we're looking at tax returns, bank statements, things like that. With the DSCR, we're looking at the cash flow of the property. So if it rents for $3,000 and the payment's $3,000, 1-to-1 they call it, we give you the mortgage.
Okay.
So rather than go by tax returns. So there's a lot of people, business owners. Do you own not a real estate company, but do you own a company? And you're self-employed, but you have a creative accountant. I get that all the time. Dave, I make all this money, but Dave, I don't want to pay tax. I got a creative accountant. This program's for you. This is a great program where you can lean in and buy an investment property without showing a tax return, because I'm going to help you navigate that and find the right loan with my real estate partners, find the right property. And Mike, we just did one. I'm actually doing 4. But one of the ones right now, it's a 2-unit for $900,000. The person's putting 20% down, and there's 2 units, so there's 2 rental components to the property.
Okay.
So the rents are bringing in. It's got a great net operating income, and it's bringing in more than the mortgage payment. This particular investor would have never been able to buy a property for that kind of expense because their income doesn't support it. But this property is in a resort area. It's great Airbnb property, short-term rental. So they're gonna crush. They're gonna make a ton of money, and that's a great story. And so that's just another example of how we help people that aren't traditional first-time home buyers. We can kind of help everybody.
That's fantastic. I love that. So you're hearing all these different numbers and stuff like that. If you need to go backwards on the video or kind of break down the numbers or hear the things that we're talking about in a little slower fashion, feel free to do that. Also, keep in mind when we're talking about stuff like taxes and things like that, you're going to see a bumper on the front and back end where this is a licensed mortgage advisor. So this is a person that isn't trying to give you, flawed or faulty financial advice. This is how the rich get richer. This is how you utilize your money. This is how you're successful in business. And I learn every time I'm sitting here too. So I hope you're learning and hearing all those wonderful nuggets that are in there. So I appreciate you sharing all this information with me. And this is just the beginning. I mean, we've been doing videos now for a couple of years. I want to say it's almost been at least a year, almost a year and a half now we've been doing videos.
About a year and a half.
We're all over the social media landscape. So we've got the videos going here in the background. So you're going to see Dave on our YouTube. You're going to see him on Instagram. Dave, I want you to leave. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, but this will be the final main question I'm going to ask, and it's going to be, can you leave us with a why, a piece of advice, or a mic drop moment? It doesn't need to be like all of them. It's just something that you want to leave our audience with an impactful statement or explain your why.
No, I think why I do what I do is to help you, buy real estate, and don't take no for an answer. The market, the rate, the Feds, we're in September, they're getting ready to drop the rate for the first time since 2022. So in the last 3 months, we're down about 60 basis points in rate. And that means on an average price home, that's $145 per month less. So you can buy more house. So if you were priced out a few months ago, if you couldn't get the house that you wanted a couple of months ago, now's the time. It's ready for you right now. And so,
and houses are still appreciating. We're not seeing things decline or the market's breaking or anything like that. Right?
I'm glad you said that because it's not 2006, it's not 2008. So the inventory level, Michael, is at its lowest point. So it's high. Everyone say, "Hey, inventory is rising." Yes, we were in a big seller's market for 2 to 3 years. So now things are getting back to a more normal market. But historically, if you go back 40 years, this is the lowest amount of inventory that there are. Mm-hmm. And with the millennials coming and with the renters coming, I saw a stat. For every 1% in drop in interest rate, 5 million more people qualify for a mortgage. So everyone's been waiting for the crash. Everybody's been waiting for the prices to go down. Kay Schiller, who tracks this stuff, just said the prices went up again. And they're going to continue to go up because of the low inventory. Mm-hmm. And if the rates continue to drop, next year it could be in the fives. You want to lean in now and buy the real estate. We call it marry the house, get the house, date to rate. We can always change the rate out. You're not stuck with the rate forever like people think. No, there's no prepayment penalty. Get into a better deal when the rate drops. So buy now. You can't time the market, Mike.
Right, that's true.
It's hard
no crystal balls.
Yeah,
right?
You can't time the market. So the best time to start building wealth is now, right?
Yeah.
And take the appreciation as the value goes up and the mortgage goes down. So that's my why. Like, don't wait. There's never been a better time to buy real estate.
Yeah.
And if you try to time the market, you could see, price increases. Mm-hmm. So even though the rate's a little bit lower, the price is higher, you end up paying more. So there's a cost to waiting.
That's it. Let's go. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to throw a couple more things at David McLaughlin. If you have any questions for David, if you're in the Sarasota, St. Pete, Tampa area, are you available for phone calls and emails?
I am available for phone calls and emails.
Yeah.
So 941-724-7653. 941-724-SOLD, SOLD, which is the 7653. And david.mclaughlin@fairwaymc.com. Happy to help you.
Let's go. I love this. All right. Let's think about this. Favorite place to grab a bite in Sarasota?
Couple places. So if you're downtown Sarasota, Patrick's is an amazing place to grab a bite. It's on Main Street. Mondays, they got Burger Mondays. Amazing spot. And then if you're looking for Italian food, La Venezia Restaurant, St. Armor Circle. St. Armor Circle is considered the crown jewel in Sarasota. Plenty of seafood restaurants. But if you like Italian, go see my friend Raphael. He has amazing food.
Let's go. All right, and then we're going to round it out. Last question I'm going to have for you. You're a big hockey fan. Who's your favorite hockey team?
Without a doubt, the Tampa Bay Lightning. and I'm sitting here with the Florida Panthers. So they won the cup. We got a hand on the belt, you know.
Fortunately, though, the state of Florida is like owning hockey. Who would have thought?
5 years in a row, there's been a team from Florida in the Stanley Cup. Who would have thought that?
So I think you gotta look at South Florida real estate. You can come down here. You could play some hockey. You could take the boat out. You could hit the beach, and you could have a bite over in downtown Sarasota. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure, David.
Awesome.
Looking forward to more.
Me too.
Let's keep it rolling.